Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Infinite Series Build-A-Figure Collection Groot. We're having a look today at Iron Man. Iron Man seems to be the new Spider-Man when it comes to figures added into sets. Now, truth be told, Iron Man does technically have a space-bound armor, but still, got another Iron Man. This Iron Man does at least come with the leg needed to build Groot. But I kind of feel like Iron Man, we just had to kind of meet a quota for Iron Man. Let's throw him into this set. On the side, some artwork of Iron Man, both actually on either side, it's the same image. And on the back of the package, there's Iron Man. Not really the most impressive of poses for, if you ask me, kind of an unimpressive Iron Man anyways. Your read-up says for Iron Man, when Tony Stark teamed up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, he built a new suit of modular armor designed for extended missions in the blackness of space. The other figures that we have been looking at were Star-Lord, Gamora, Rocket Raccoon, Drax, Marvel's Nova, and then of course finally Iron Man. Collecting all of these will allow you to brag to your friends. You can say, na 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 na, I got all the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Groot. And then they can say, I don't want to hang around with you anymore. And then you can go home and your mom can make you pancakes because you lost a friend. The lesson to be learned in all this, don't brag about your collection. Friends that don't have these will not like you. Just saying. But if you are to collect all 6 figures, you can build your very own Groot, which, gotta say, looks really impressive. Now, Spot, unfortunately, as I've mentioned, I was unable to pick these up in retail. Really such a shame, as it goes with Canadian stores. But luckily, I was able to pick these up from the folks over at Entertainment Earth. And I got myself the whole wave. And so really, you know, I'm glad I was able to find these online because I wanted to get them reviewed. And Spot just, unfortunately, had to delay. But needless to say, I'll provide the link down below if you guys are in the similar situation as me where your retail stores just don't stock stuff like this. Oh, you can head over to the folks over at Entertainment Earth and you can pick up this whole wave for yourself. Spot's going to take a break, get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to do two things. We're going to finish Groot, and his review will follow, and we're going to have a better look at Iron Man. Which one of those two will be more interesting? You guys will certainly have to let me know. But when we come back, we're going to get a better look at Iron Man. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Iron Man comes with one accessory, just one, and that would be the leg needed to finish Groot. This is it. This is the last piece that we needed. Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn can sit back at a tree with a sprig of wheat in their mouth, and they can think to themselves, we've come a long way, Huck. We've come a long way. What was I talking about again? Oh yes, the leg of Groot. Reaching off camera, there is Groot mostly finished. Correction. Completely finished. And there you have a finished Groot. By your scale comparison, by the way, there is Groot next to Iron Man. A good tall figure. Not big and bulky, but I mean, that's not really what Groot would be anyways. But you know what? A beautiful looking piece. In fact, it could be one of Hasbro Marvel's finest as of late. It just is a really nice, decent piece. I'm going to review him separately, so the review of him will definitely be coming your way. Putting him to the side, just moving him back into the black hole. Let's have a look at Iron Man. Okay, so I'm going to just start this review by just saying I'm not super thrilled by this Iron Man. It's, you know, you're one of two people. You either love Iron Man and therefore you will collect every conceivable armor of Iron Man coming. Oh, did you just hear that? Did you just hear that? A new Iron Man figure has just been produced. Just like that. I think his name is like Smokehouse Deli Iron Man. He's got like a little grill on the front. He smokes meat, makes sandwiches for the rest of the Avengers. But yeah, he's just, it's not a bad figure, but I mean, sculpting wise, you can tell that Hasbro didn't just take an existing Iron Man figure, at least from what I can tell, and just gave him a new coat of paint. Like, they did look like they actually they did sculpt a brand new piece, but you gotta just ask yourself, I don't know, like, do we really need this particular Iron Man above and beyond the 475 Iron Mans that we've already received? He kind of seems to me like a cross between Ultron and Optimus Prime from, not Robots in Disguise, but the one where he was the fire truck. I can't remember which one that was. I think they merged into everything else. Was that Robots in Disguise or Armada? It doesn't really matter. But he seems like a cross between that Optimus Prime and Ultron. He's kind of got like the face of Ultron. Like a little bit. It's not a bad looking piece, but again, the thing is too, like, if you were to show anybody this figure and they did not know who it was, would they necessarily say, hey, that's Iron Man? Or would they say, hey, who's the weird looking figure over there? And then you can say, oh, that's Iron Man. Oh, that doesn't look like Iron Man from the movies. No, this is Iron Man in space. When was he in space? He was in space in issue 117. Come on. And then you would say, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And your friend would go home and have the pancakes. He's got at least these neat little kind of side pieces, which I guess you could kind of have down if you wanted to, or you can have out, or you can just pop them right off. But there's like a little peg point on either side. These have actually already popped off a couple of times before I started reviewing this figure. It kind of looks like the top of a castle. Like there should be like a little guy with like a bow and arrow. He's the archer. He kind of sits on the towers and keeps an eye to make sure that no enemies are invading the village. From the rest of it, the figure kind of has a kind of like a tomato red color. It's not a dark red. It's very orangey red in coloring. And then he's got the gold accents around the arc reactor. He's got that same gold coloring in the mouth and the head. But his eyes are a different yellow, so at least they stand out from the rest of it. It just, again, it's not a super impressive figure. It could have been maybe a little more impressive had they put more paint other than just the one red. If they had used maybe this similar red, slightly darker, and then just gone in and brought out some of those details, there would be a little more going on with this figure than just one color red and gold accents. For your articulation, though, Iron Man's head is on a ball hinge joint. It rotates back and forth, up and down. Has a very ratcheted upper torso crunch. Swivel in the waist. Shoulders do go forward and back, out. Arms are really stiff, though. They move out. Swivel in the bicep. A double bend at the elbow. He also has the repulsor blast in his hands, rotation and pivot in the hand. And then for the legs, it's at least got the new Marvel Legends articulation, so the legs go forward, back, out, without you having to rotate it to then move it out. I've always disliked that articulation. Swivel in the thigh, a double bend at the knee, and then a hinge in the foot, as well as a bend also in the foot. Of the six figures that we've been looking at, Iron Man is really my least favorite. There's just nothing really gravitating me towards wanting to get this figure. In fact, I would say if I had not wanted to build Groot, I probably would not have even picked this figure up. That's just me. Again, if you were a guy or a girl, let's not be sexist, but if you were somebody that wanted to build and get every single Iron Man conceivable, any one that they've ever released, then maybe you would want to add this figure to your collection. I think above and beyond that, though, would you ever pair him? Like, would you ever put him on display with the other Guardians of the Galaxy? The answer is probably no. You know, you would probably have the Guardians of the Galaxy all nicely displayed. You know, there's Rocket Raccoon in the front and everything else. You probably would never put this guy on display. And really, for that matter, I guess you would never really put Nova on display with them. I just feel like Iron Man is destined for a bin of toys that you're going to find at a flea market or a toy show or something like that. It's not something for me that is super interesting. I guess really if you wanted to try to customize this, you could probably make it into an Ultron, but I just feel like the figure is not as... It stands out from the rest of the figures in this line, and not even in a good way either. This Iron Man, I'm gonna give it a 6. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the final figure. A little hair there. We're having a look at the final figure from the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Groot Build-A-Figure series. We're having a look today at Throw-In Iron Man. Deli Smoke Iron Man, I hope is still going to get released. I definitely want to get my hands on him. Spot's just kidding, by the way. Stay tuned, guys. Even though we've had a look at all the figures from the Guardians of the Galaxy line, we still, of course, have Groot, so his review will definitely be right around the corner. Thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you next time.